Jen, you do realize that the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 came out in late October, right? It's December, Jen. December. There have already been at least 142 reviews on this palette. You are so late.
Just kind of got a point. Hello, my friend. Yes, I know that this is probably the last review, probably last officially on reviewing the Tati Beauty palette, but I am excited to share my personal opinions with you on this. And if you're here, that means you want to hear my opinion too, and I really appreciate that. So I've been trying this for about a week and a half, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts. I have some things that I love about this palette, some things that I wish were just a little bit different. I've also got swatches for you, my swatches with the brushes and the fingers and the wear test and all of that and ingredients, and we're going to talk about all of that coming at you right now. Before I go any further, this was sent to me in the PRs by the Tati Beauty. I'll just show you the PR box if you haven't seen it yet. It looks like a big book, which is really, really cute. You know, you put the palette in here, and she actually thought to put individualized notes to everybody that was on PR, which I thought was so incredibly sweet to, you know, have a spot for that. Not just to throw it in, but to specifically have a spot where she would write a handwritten note. It reminds me of the days of thank you cards. I don't know if you do thank you cards anymore, but I feel like it's just becoming more scarce to do the handwritten notes and things like that. So I just thought that was a really, really nice touch to put that on there. And she wrote some very sweet things to me, and it was very, very nice. And of course, this whole makeup, believe, beautiful is your story to tell. Like, I think that's just, you know, it's a very sweet message. And I think it comes down to the heart of Tati Beauty and how much this really seems to come from her heart. Now, that being said, I have met Tati 2 times, and she's always been kind to me, but she knows. She knows. Anybody that sends me PR knows that when it comes to reviewing makeup, this isn't an inanimate object by a company, and my personal feelings toward that person, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We are going to do everything you need to know about this palette, and nobody is safe. If you've never been to one of my Everything You Need to Know videos before, they are quite long, but I will put timestamps down in the video description down below so you can skip ahead to the parts that you may find more interesting. And yeah, without gabbing on anymore, let's go ahead and get started. This is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1. It is her very first launch of Tati Beauty, and it is not really neutral, I will have to say. When I think of neutral, I think of, you know, colors that are not warm or cool. They're neutral. And this is mostly a warm palette. So I think textured warms would have made more sense to me, but maybe she's much more talented at makeup than I am, so maybe she knows something that I don't know. In case for some reason you don't know this already, we've got 4 different finishes, and we've got 5 different shades down here that are in the different finishes. But one thing that I didn't know before I got my hands on this is that they really aren't completely, what is the word for it? Monochromatic. That's the word I was looking for. They're not completely monochromatic. There is some variant in the color within each color story, which I actually ended up really liking and thought it was really cool once I got them on my eyes. This is only available at tatibeauty.com. It did launch on October 25th of 2019. This product is made in the USA, and typically I talk about shelf life, and there is no shelf life listed on this. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, and I felt really nervous for Tati. And I contacted Tati less than 24 hours ago, and I asked her about the shelf life. I looked up on the FDA's website, and there is no legal recommendation or mandate to put the shelf life of a product on cosmetics. It doesn't exist. It doesn't have to. But I thought since it was always on products, it had to be there, and that how it's so, you know, you get the little jar thing, you know what I'm talking about? I thought that had to be on everything, but apparently, according to the FDA, it doesn't. But Tati is going to get back to me on the shelf life just so that I can communicate that information to you. Again, it's been less than 24 hours. This is something that my subscribers brought up to me that I wanted to bring up to you that I don't normally talk about, which is the return policy that I feel is really, really important to talk about. I'm just gonna read from her website. No refunds, exchanges, cancellations, or returns. Once you place your order, you cannot make any changes. This is a quote from the website. We will review all issues that are submitted within 14 days of delivery delivery of the package. Requests received after this time frame are no longer eligible for review. And also, customers must provide photos of any product order issues along with their packing slip. Please ensure stamped initials are visible on the packing slip so they know who packed it if there was a packing mistake. So, note to self for future orders. Make sure you know what you're doing before you order anything. Make sure you are 100% sure you want to order it, because once you've ordered it, and that's it. If you have any issues with what's coming in the box, like if you got sent the wrong items, once there's more than one item, make sure you let them know before 2 weeks. And then if you don't, then you're stuck with whatever it is you've got. So it's a very, very strict return policy. I want to make sure that you all are aware of that as consumers. It is stated on the packaging that it is cruelty-free and also vegan. I don't see any official stamp of PETA or Leaping Bunny or anything. That's very typical with new brands, and honestly, a PETA stamp is very easy to get. It just means that they've promised to be cruelty-free, so I would imagine that maybe sometime in the future, Tati Beauty will go through the PETA certification, hopefully the Leaping Bunny certification. That one's a little more complicated to get, but there really is no reason not to be cruelty-free for an indie brand, because they're not trying to sell in mainland China. They're not, testing on animals in the United States. It's very, very rare that you'll get a cosmetic product that's made in the United States and tested on animals that is not sold in China. It doesn't really happen anymore because there's really no reason to. All right, brand controversies. We're gonna go over them very briefly, and then I'm gonna put some links for you if you want to know more in depth in the description box down below. The brand itself hasn't really had any brand controversies because they're brand new, and it seemed like the launch was pretty smooth. I think it took about a day for the palette to sell out, and I didn't really hear any really big complaints about it. I haven't heard about any fibers or anything in the palette. I haven't heard about any problems with the consistency of it. I haven't heard about broken product. I haven't really heard about anything negative except for with the return policy. Some of my subscribers have contacted me and said that they were surprised by the return policy and were disappointed in it. As far as Tati herself, the first thing I thought of immediately was her Halo Beauty vitamins. When those first launched, there were a lot of videos made, including by myself, kind of picking apart the vitamins and trying to decide whether they were worth it to you or not. There are a lot of people that believe that the Halo vitamins probably don't do anything, but on the other end, there are a lot of people that I've seen on Twitter, on Facebook, in my YouTube comments that have said that Halo Beauty vitamins do wonders for them. It doesn't, whichever formula, the original, the kiwi, whatever, I've heard wonderful things about it. I personally tried it for 1 month and didn't see any results, but 1 month for me really isn't enough to see the results and the things I was looking for, such as hair, skin, all of that. My nails are already pretty strong over. I wasn't really worried about that. So I don't think that I used it long enough to really give it a full review. But Tati had said you should see results within 3 weeks, and I hadn't seen those, so that was what I reported on. But yeah, so it's kind of a mixed bag as far as that goes, whether people feel that the Halo vitamins are not good or they're good. It really seems to be up to the individual that has been using them or is critiquing them from afar. And then the last one, of course, was the big one, was her feud with James Charles. That is a very long story that I don't want to get wrong. There's so much he said, she said in that, so I'm just gonna link some timelines and some articles and stuff down there for you, and you can develop your own opinion on that. The reason why I include the brand controversies section is because I know that there is a good number of people that really care about the people behind the brand itself before they make purchasing decisions. So that's why I include this. If you don't care about any of that, then let's go ahead and move on. As far as value of this product, this matters the most if you're planning on using this product all the way through. If you're just planning on using it occasionally, never hitting pan, this part probably doesn't even matter to you. But for those that it does, the glitters in here are 0.75 grams of product. They're up there, and then the others are 1 gram of product. I personally like to see 1 gram of product because I feel like it gives people a nice long amount of time to use the product before it runs out. So if you add up all of that, the 6 glitters and the 18 non-glitters, you end up with 22.5 grams of product. It is a $48 palette, so that's $2.13 per gram, which is very, very good compared to Sephora brands. Typically, the least expensive brands you'll see at Sephora are around around the $2.50 mark. For an ABH shadow, you're gonna pay about $5. Urban Decay, you're gonna pay about $3.25 for a gram of product. Too Faced is usually around $2.50 or so, $2.25. So this is, for the amount of product you get and the cost of it, it is a very good value. It is now time for my favorite, very, very geeky part, the ingredient analysis, where we go over the ingredients in the product and talk about anything you need to be aware of. First off, the preservative in here is phenoxyethanol. That is a very common preservative used in many, many cosmetics, but some people are sensitive to it, so I just wanted to mention it just in case. There's also, if you look on the back of the box, which I don't have, so I'm gonna show you my neighbor Michelle's photo of the back of the box that you would get if you order this, and there's a little asterisk, and those mark the shadows that are not considered for use around the immediate eye area, and that's because the FDA, for whatever reason, well, I'll tell you what reasons, has said that these are not safe for eye use, and we're gonna talk about them, so don't freak out yet, we're gonna talk about them. The Poet section, okay? Let's hold off on the glitters for a second. The Poet section uses the pigment Red 7. Red 7 has not been FDA approved for eye use. So that is something that people that are sensitive to that pigment need to be aware of. There's also Red 40 in some of these shades. I believe a lot of the Story ones over here have Red 40 in them, and I think some of the Poet ones do as well. That is said by the FDA to be eye safe, but I know some of you are sensitive to that, so I wanted to mention that. I do want to note that the Red 7 is approved for eye use in the EU. They do a lot more frequent testing, a lot more regulations are updated more often than the FDA. The FDA hasn't updated their pigment regulation in decades. So I personally gonna go with the EU when it comes to what's eye safe, what's not eye safe. But just so you know, the FDA would say that the pigments over here in the Poet section are not safe for eye use. I use them, I have no problem. You may find some staining on your eyes, and some people are, like I said, are sensitive to them. So keep that in mind. As far as the glitters go, Tati did say in her video to use these with caution because they are not eye safe. The glitters in them are too large to be approved for eye use. I also noticed that the Memory Metallic one did not have any not eye safe reds in it, so that one may also have some larger glitters in it. I do have a question out to Tati. I will let you know what she says about that. But as far as the glitters go, you know, scratch corneas are no joke. You don't want to mess with that. So it's one of those use at your own risk kinds of things. Never put those on your lower lash line like Tati mentioned in her video because it's a lot more likely to go into your eye. I've used the glitters pretty much every time that I've used this palette, almost every time, and I haven't had any problem with any of them going in my eyes. But that doesn't mean that you won't, and it doesn't mean that I won't in the future. So you just have to kind of use the glitters with caution. Another ingredient that I want to mention that's in this palette is bismuth oxychloride. That one is FDA approved for eye use, but it is incredibly scratchy for people, a lot of people with sensitive lids. It gives a lot of eye irritation to people just because the pigment just is, it's very, very scratchy. It's in the may or may not contain section of pretty much all of the eyeshadows, except for the Memory Metallic and the Memory Matte. It's said to be in all those. So if you're sensitive to bismuth oxychloride, you should probably stay away from this palette. Some people like to tap eyeshadows under their lips for a different kind of effect. So ones that would not be lip safe because of the pigments that are in there are all of the Sequin shades and all of the matte shades except for Memory. Another ingredient I want to mention, because I actually heard somebody talking about this regarding Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and I want to make sure that people understand the research behind this. It's an ingredient called PTFE, and it's in the metallic and Sequin shades of this palette. And if you Google it, you'll probably freak out because it's technically Teflon. And if you have heard about Teflon, you've heard about it being the, you know, the coating for pans. So why in the world is Teflon in makeup? Well, it's used as a bulking agent and a binding agent. It helps the eyeshadow to apply smoothly onto the eye. Hello, Editing Jen here. I was looking for some information that I wanted to just show you on the screen that was official regarding Teflon, and I came across this from the American Cancer Society, and I think it speaks better than what I said in the video, which was very, very short. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the screen. So PTFE is the chemical name for what has been trademarked as Teflon. It is that non-stick coating surface on pans and other cookware. The stuff that has been found to be possibly cancer-causing is something called PFOA, and that is the chemical used to make Teflon. The reason why it's a health concern is because it can stay in the environment and in the human body for long periods of time. And studies have found that it is present worldwide at low levels in pretty much everybody's blood. PFOA has also been found in low levels in some foods, drinking water, and even in household dust, which I thought was kind of crazy. But this is where it applies to makeup. The question was, do Teflon and PFOA cause cancer? Teflon itself is not suspected to cause cancer. It's the PFOA that studies have looked into as far as possibly causing cancer. The reason why people are scared of PTFE is because of its possible contamination with the PFOA. But in order for PFOA to be dangerous, it needs to be heated to extremely high temperatures, way, way higher than you will ever find in a cosmetic product, because we don't heat up and cook our cosmetic products before we put them on our face. And we definitely don't want to heat them to the levels that it needs to be cancer causing. So I wanted to add that in because I thought that it was a really important piece of this information to share with you. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into my shorter description. This is the thing about Teflon as a chemical. The only way that it is found to be carcinogenic and harmful, let me get the number right, is when temperatures exceed 350 degrees Celsius. That translates to 662 degrees Fahrenheit. So unless you're planning on heating this up to 662 degrees Fahrenheit before you put it on your eyes, which I definitely do not recommend you heat up any of your eyes. It's just such a ridiculous thing to say. You should not have a problem. At least based on current research, there's no evidence to suggest that that ingredient at room temperature is cancer causing. So yeah, based on actual physical scientific research, there's no reason to be worried about this, that ingredient in this palette. Some other ingredients I wanted to note for you, just for allergy purposes. If you don't have allergies, you don't probably need to worry about them. Sunflower seed oil is in the memory metallic. Castor seed oil is only in the glitters, and coconut oil is only in the glitters. Now that we've gone over all of that, we're gonna go into the swatches of the palette. We're gonna do finger swatches and brush swatches. I'm excited for you to see those, so hang tight. Those are coming at you right now. I'm a little caught up. I'm a little shaken. What's wrong? I
can I say no to you? Where do you go when I see you dreaming? I'm a little caught up, I'm a little shaken. You are that someone, I could make a mistake, but okay, bye. I love you across the room. I heard you, oh, tell him I'm a little caught up, I'm a little shaken. little shaken. You are someone I wanna make a mistake with. We were there catching fire, now you're here burning bright in the flames. All this time could have sworn you were mine, now I hide in the rain. A vibrant world, 'cause life is what you make of it. Beauty for the taking, yeah, we're taking it. Love is all I got, and love is what I leave behind. But I will never die, I will never die. I'm immortal, cruising down Pacific, yeah, I'm floating, making you my mission. Wearing bright eyes for the rest of my life. No, I will never die, I will never die. I'm immortal, cruising down Pacific, yeah, I'm floating, making you my mission. Wearing bright eyes for the rest of my life. No, I will never die, no, I will never die.
Now you have seen the swatches. I don't know if you're curious, but if you are, I'm about to show you a demo of how I got this look today. The only row that I have not used for this look is the row of Poet. I've tried to use lots and lots of these colors so you can see how they perform on the eye. So if you're curious about that, that's coming at you right now.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? Let's go! Hey! Yeah, this is my life, my strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
All right, my friend, it is currently, what time is it? Where is my phone? There it is. Of course it's on the floor because that's the responsible thing. It is currently 12:07 in the PM. I put this on about an hour ago. So we'll be back like 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Yeah, I get to come back a little bit earlier because I got started a little bit earlier. Yay! That'll be nice for me. I love that for me. So we'll be back, and for you it'll just be a couple of seconds at the end of my day. Day is done. So it is currently 9:40 35 in the PM. I forgot I had my ukulele practice tonight. I go over to my best friend Mary Lynn's house and a bunch of us play the ukulele. We're all, you know, pretty amateur at it, but we have a really good time. So I forgot I had that tonight. So I just got home. So let's check in on the Tati Beauty eyeshadow. Let's see how it looks. You're gonna have to tell me what you think because you're zoomed in further than I'm zoomed in. So let me just make sure I'm in focus. Am I in focus? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close my eyes and you check it out and see what you think. All right, so now I'm gonna look, see what I think. Okay, so the glitter has definitely spread upward. That's not unusual for me. Whenever I have any foiled shades, glitter, it usually spreads up to my brow bone. I think it's because of the way I blink. I don't know, but that's not abnormal. I do have a little bit of glitter fallout down here. My lower lash line still looks pretty good. It's a little wonky over here, but I think I rubbed my eyeliner off. I think that's my eyeliner and not the eyeshadow, this madness over here. But overall, I mean, it's still more concentrated on the outer corner over here, like the way that I put it on. And I think it looks pretty stinking good. All the colors are all pretty much still there. I feel like the lighter shade in the inner corner is faded just a little bit. But overall, I feel like it looks pretty good. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. So let me go ahead now and give you my full review on this palette after using it quite a bit. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Let's go row by row. Let's start with the mattes. The mattes blend beautifully. They are wonderful. They're very, very easy to use. I'm especially impressed with Memory, this black here, because like if you watched my Conspiracy palette review, the black in there is very, 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 very pigmented and it doesn't blend very easily. It's really good for like nice packed on, like all black kinds of looks. This one actually blends really nicely. So you can like pop it in the outer corner and just deepen it up and just smoke out your outer corner if you want to. That's what I like to do with it. But it blends out easily and nicely, unlike some blacks. So I really, really like that a lot. I'm a big fan of all of these, to be completely honest, all of the mattes. Now, these sequin shades, those are the ones I was most excited about because this is something very, very different. I don't own anything quite like the sequin shades. The closest thing that I have to the sequin shades are Too Faced. They had a matte with some glitter in it, but the problem with that formula was that the glitter would just go away as soon as you packed it onto the lid. Not so with these. Tarte also had a formula where it was matte with glitter in it, like in the Graveyard Girl palette. Do you remember that palette? There was one in there, it was something having to do with tea, I forgot. But I remember in my review for that, I blew on my finger and all the glitter, like 90% of the glitter blew away. It was crazy. Not so with this. These actually, the glitter actually stays on your eyes and it's just a really subtle glitter. My big complaint about the sequin shades is that I get a ton of glitter fallout with these shades, but honestly, like this is just me. I honestly don't care a whole lot because I don't have a 9-to-5 job that I have to go to where I have to worry about somebody looking at me and like, why she got glitter all over her cheeks? I'm just saying if you have a job where people are gonna care, you might wanna be really careful with the sequin shades as far as fallout. I mean, you can see around here, like let me put my brush in it. Let me put this brush in here. So when you do that, you see how much powder kicks up from it? You have to be really careful how you apply this. So just be aware that those do that. There was one day I did an all sequin look. My whole look was all the sequin shades because I just wanted to play with them and have fun. And my face was crazy, like the glitter on my face. I'll show you a picture if I have it. I think I have a picture or a video I shot of it. It was absolutely insane. But I do think they're absolutely beautiful and they are so, so fun to play with. The metallic row is the one that I've played with the least, surprisingly, because I'm a big metallic eyeshadow fan. I don't find these to be as metallic as, like, let's say a Juvia's Place eyeshadow for the metallic hues there. They're metallic, but they're not over the top shiny. They're a little more subtle than some metallic shades that I own. So that's just gonna come down to personal taste. I personally don't like the metallic ones as much as I like my more shiny ones, but I can see there is a target audience for this. It's just not me. I do like them, they're just not my favorites. Now the glitter shades. I was expecting to have a ton of glitter fallout with the glitter shades. Not so much, and I have not been using a glitter glue, but let me tell you, I haven't been using them to full opacity. You know, with the swatches where I dip my finger in and I just go wham all the way down and it's just straight up glitter. I haven't used them like that at all because I just haven't found that I've wanted to. Like, I'm having so much fun playing in the other ones. Like, I don't really want an all full-on glitter look. I don't know, it just seems overdone to me on me. I think it looks beautiful on other people. I just haven't been loving that. So what I've been doing is what you saw today, where I'm just gently tapping it across my lid, and I try to keep it more concentrated on the outer corner, and then kind of like make it a little less and a little less until I get to the inner corner, and I really like that a lot. The only shades that I have not played with, I will tell you, are the Aura glitter, and I haven't played with the Poet glitter, but I've played with all the rest of the glitters, and I've been really enjoying them. I think they're a lot of fun, and I have heard that if you pack them onto your lid and really do like a full-on glitter lid, you do get a lot of glitter fallout, and you might want to use a glitter glue with it. I haven't found that to be a problem with the way that I've been applying it much lighter. Oh, I just remembered another thing I don't like about this palette. I don't like the packaging. I don't like it. It collects, and all I need to do is take a wipe and wipe it off, but I like not my fingerprints and dirt not getting on my palettes. Not as bad as in Anastasia Beverly Hills with the velvet, but still, it gets a little scuzzy, so you just gotta make sure you wipe it down. You know, I can get over it. I'm okay with it because I really do like these shadows a lot. Final verdict is that this is a really fun palette to play with. This is a toy, and I did not expect that. I never say that about palettes that are this color story wise pretty typical. What makes it fun is it's easy to use. So if you are a beginner in makeup, I know this glitter row is scary. You don't have to use the glitters. It's okay. These down here are really fun, and then maybe every once in a while, you're going out on a date night, you can throw a little bit of glitter in your inner corner just to pop it off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think my favorite shade in this palette is Poet. The Poet glitter one, the Sequin one from Poet. And it's got blue glitter in it. It's a maroon with blue glitter. Oh my gosh, what is that? How is that a thing? Wait, how do you even think of that? I don't know. But I wish I had thought of it and put it in a palette because it's really cool. It's so cool. I do think that you're gonna get your money's worth out of this palette, even if you only use the bottom 3 rows and never touch the glitters ever, because they really are very fun, and you are getting a gram of product in each one, which is a significant amount of product. You can do work looks with this. You can do day looks, night looks. You can do date night looks. You can do so much with this with just these very simple colors, and I seriously cannot wait for her to release another palette because I am having so much fun with this. And thank you so much to Tati for sending me the palette. I really appreciate it because anybody that sends me PR knows that they're taking a risk. They know that I'm gonna be honest. They know that I'm going to pick it apart and pick it to death, and Tati knows this about me and she sent it to me anyway. So thank you so much for sending this to me, knowing me, and still sending it to me anyway. I just really appreciate it. But I've told you so much about what I think about this palette. I'm done. It's not my turn anymore. Now it's your turn. In the collective brain of makeup awesomeness where we help each other not to buy crap and to buy things that are totally worth it, it is your turn to chime in the comment section down below. If you've tried this, you've got to tell me what you think. What's working for you? What's not working for you? Did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Are you using glitter glue? Are you not using glitter glue? Are you getting fallout? Are you not getting fallout? How are you working with it? What are your favorite colors? I need to know all of these things down below. And if you read a comment down there that you enjoy reading, that you get information from, give them a little thumbs up or a little comment thanking them for their comment. Little things do go a long way, and while you're thumbsing things up, you can thumbs up this video if you like. It tells YouTube to share it with other people. I don't know if anybody else besides y'all care what I have to say about this palette because everybody and their grandmother's already reviewed it, but you could still like the video and maybe someone will want to watch it. I don't know. But I do want to thank you so much for watching it, and thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, somehow you found this video, thank you for being here. You can subscribe before you go if you like, but if you'd like to hang out a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending a video for you right down there to watch and hang out a little longer. But if you've got to move on for your day, thank you so much for hanging out as long as you did, and mad love to you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye!